Save Nature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. We were just talking about the football match between the Super Falcons and South Africa. Of course, the women have made us proud once again after their match with Zambia. And it's so yesterday, to be precise. And it's so interesting that even though we have women playing in the fields, we have men cheering them.
Yeah.
Doesn't this make you understand how uninvolved women are in the business of football?
I feel like
Or
saying,
even
I feel like saying
sports.
business of the
Sports.
day. I feel like saying business of the day.
No,
because,
business of football. Let's be specific.
Oh, of course. In the business of football, it's a selected thing. Even if you see women playing, some women that are not on the pitch will go like, "Do women even are supposed to do this? Are women supposed to even do this?"
Because it doesn't look feminine.
Yes, some of the women, the whole exercise and everything, your body restructuring and what have you. So many people have their reservations with females going into sports, But then again, we are still talking about the women football competition, African women football competition. Where are the women supporting women? If not,
it's not always.
Normal people they say, "Waiting man do man." At this point, waiting women do women.
See, let's be realistic.
true.
When it comes to football like this, let's talk about the physical appearance. It makes you change your physical appearance as a woman. As a woman, you're supposed to appear really soft and feminine and every single thing. But you don't go looking like a man with so much muscles all out there. And I think that's why women don't really feel like it's a female thing to be a footballer or a bodybuilder or to be involved in certain sports, because first of all, it makes you step out of, I could be wrong, but it just gives the idea that you've stepped out of your feminine energy, your feminine era, and you're just doing the manly things, which is not relatable to me as a feminine woman that is not involved in things like that. And I think that's why. But on a second thought, just maybe if we have the attention that, or rather give the same attention that women deserve in sports, then we could actually get more women to play football and also expand our football team across the globe.
So let's look at what is conventional.
Okay.
All right, what is conventional? Talking about sports and the likes. It's not a matter of a women thing, not a women thing.
Okay.
Men may have been the forefront of started it, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a man thing, right? But then let's look at it from the angle of passion. It could be anything. Back then, you barely see women doing engineering course in school, university.
Absolutely.
There's always the mentality is a man thing.
Man.
Why would what would we be doing there?
Even in school, the engineering department, I think then in my school, we just had like 3 females in the electrical engineering department. And it was funny. You had hundreds of boys and just 3 women there.
Stereotyping these things are the reasons why we are here where we are right now, because it's like you having a nurse department and you see male
even mass communication.
You start to wonder, you start to say the men like, what are you doing? Why don't go for medicine?
Another angle
Why
to it starts from parenting, when your parents make you feel like there are gender roles, there are gender things that you should not do, like playing football. When I was younger, I grew up with boys, and whenever I was found playing football with my brothers as a teenager, my mom would always call me to come inside the house and do other house chores while they play. So it made me understand that, oh, you're not built for this. You should do other feminine, like be in the kitchen or go out or play with your female friends, but not play football, because you could get hurt in the same process. So I think that's why we have these gender roles, and it's from parenting as well. It's not just something that you wake up one day and you decide not to.
I wouldn't just say it's just on the parents. Okay, these parents also have where they learned this thing from. Some of them that started from schools also learned this thing from school. Recently I was talking to someone, and the person said back then in their school, once you're into the science, you understand, they give you prefects, they give you positions in school. Yes, they prioritize it. You cannot be in the arts department or arts field or whatever, and then they give you the senior prefect.
Because
you cannot be the
not
senior
a serious
prefect.
person in
No,
quotes.
senior prefect typically is for science students, and that's where the issue starts from. Now, if from a school background, you're not liberating the heart, you're not making people understand what stereotype is and the effect it has on people. If from school we're having that, where you have science, you have art, and the school prioritizes science to art, and you see them having the lab for science, giving them all their
And then when
attention.
it comes to art, you just
Art
have to
is
do
just
your
like, you
business
don't
in
have
the
you don't have any
classroom.
lab, you don't have nothing, you're just there.
Exactly.
And you see these teachers, they are proud and they are bold about it. See, we don't joke with our science classes, but the arts, they feel like a normal, common thing. So this is where the problem comes from. People,
Even in the Nigerian universities, when there's a cutoff mark for law, you see it's a bit lower than that of the medicine and surgery, and other science courses.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, are these things not as important as
the other, right? That's the thing.
It's really a question that should be answered there. And now that brings us to the constitutional reform. I know you not agree with me when it comes to this conversation, but I feel like this is something that is being pushed for currently. What do you think about this particular development on the women? You know, not just the women, but every other person out there, you know, hoping and looking forward to having a reform of the constitution.
Oh, it's a good thing. You understand? At one point or the other, you have to sit back and ask yourself questions. You know, what are we not doing right? What do we need to do right? What do we need to adjust? What is working? What is not working? These are things to look out for. You understand? And I know the women are also clamoring for their own position too in the constitution that will also serve them. They also need a percentage, higher percentage that will include them in the activity of the day, right? In politics and what have you. We also have the disabled too. They also want to be there. But now we're focusing on the women, right? Now, the likes of Natasha, even if I know we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that.
Yes,
Definitely.
but the likes of Natasha is still making the rounds. How many women are actually coming out right now to support her, to be a voice? You know, women supporting women. Is it, should I
don't
call
like
them
when
the
you use
feminists?
that term.
You know, where are they? Now, if we're also talking about, sorry, we may still have to go back to the football somehow.
It's fine. They're all connected.
Yeah, because we're still talking about women. If you go at the streets now and ask any women, what really are you watching? Okay. You know, is it the Chelsea? Well, most women, I won't be surprised. Most women watch football because their partners, their lovers are there. Exactly. If I ask you now, Quinsley, I'll ask you now, what is your favorite club? You tell me it's Manchester United because maybe there's that guy.
I really do not have a favorite club. And maybe I just like one or two players because of their physique, what they look like, whatever you have to say.
Oh, so
I don't like these players because of their club, but because of what they look like. So that's my point of attraction when it comes to football. But afterwards, I don't think I know anything about football because I'm just concerned about this fine player that is on the field, and I'm just trying to know what's his name before I go off this.
But are you not curious as a lady? You know, to see your fellow ladies representing your country and doing the big things, and you're proud of them, like you're curious to see how ladies could come out so strong and dribble and do all of that.
It's not like I don't appreciate or I'm not curious, but I don't understand the game of football.
Okay.
I think before you could enjoy something, you understand it. I don't understand football. I don't understand the language, the fouls. I don't know the rules that are around it. You know, I really do not know. But back to you, what club do you support? Because now you're about to crucify me for you know, liking a team because of my supposed partner likes this particular team. But what team do you support?
Oh, well, any day, anytime, Manchester United.
Really? So you were projecting?
I wasn't projecting, right? But then again, we're still looking at women, right? Supporting women. And we look forward to the time whereby women will have these their games going on. And you see other women at football, at clubs, what do they call
and
it?
Stadiums.
Or joints where they watch matches, right? You see them without their boyfriends, so to speak, or their fiancés or their husbands. You see them in their numbers. You know, women, you know, go out with other women, you know, go there,
I think
buy their drinks.
It's only during football matches you see men hug in happiness.
With no tribalism.
Exactly.
With no
homosexual, you know, when homophobic attitude attached to it.
Nothing attached, all in one mind to enjoy the football game. But then again, when I'm going to see women come out in that number and do the same thing?
I think it has to start from the grooming, orientation, make women understand that they could be involved in things, that the world has revolved from what it used to be to having gender roles to having women take up even serious positions that we think the men own.
Like that also still takes me back to school. How many schools organizes football? How many schools organize football club for women? You barely, you just see the men. Maybe if they do that, maybe just for fun, but they don't have like clubs, where they have the women playing back to back, like see they are training or nurturing women into their passion as a footballer.
Like unlike the boys.
Unlike the boys, you see. But then there's that part of it for boys, and it's like confirmed, like a reading. In short, the principal or one of those big men has a name, like he's saying his club. You get. But now the proprietress or the other female teachers, they don't have anything like that, and that is on another angle on its own. But if you are coming back to the Constitution, can we talk about that now?
Sure, of course we can.
All right, so the likes of Natasha came on board today, and according to her statement, she said she was excited and happy to be alive and resume back to duty, which is really cool. Just recently on the news, we learned that.
But she was denied entry, though. She was denied entry, and it's surprising because this same lady has stated clearly that I'm going to resume office on Tuesday. And you know one thing I like about Natasha? She's a talk and do woman. That's one thing I love about her. Whatever Natasha says, she's going to do. So whatever it is that will happen should just happen. But one thing for sure is Natasha is going to stick to her words and do whatever he thinks that she promises to do. But now, being rejected, or rather being denied entry into the National Assembly, what is going to be the next step? For
Natasha or for women?
For Natasha. We'll talk about women.
Well, Natasha, she doesn't take no for an answer, especially when she knows she's right. You understand? I believe she will go back, put things together, and come back. She'll still come back somehow. She'll still come back because she's still standing on her court rule. That's where she's getting the justification to show up. And this also begs the question, what happens to the Constitution if women are not given the voice, if women cannot express their rights? What happens to it? Now, it's even embarrassing as a country that women have to say it, have to call themselves out and have protests and say things to be part of a constitution that majority of the numbers, they fall under, the population. Women, they are much. So should women now all have to clamor? You know what should be the right thing to do? If the people working on the Constitution,
I think that's why, just like you mentioned, I think that's where the constitutional reform comes in, whereby women are being recognized and told to hold certain positions. But on the second part, have anybody really stood against women holding a good position in the political world in Nigeria?
If they've stood against, it's like
no, not practically. But I think there's just this idea that it's a man's world when it comes to politics. But don't you agree?
I don't agree it's a man's world when it comes to politics.
Like it's just an idea.
Yes,
just
idea.
An unwritten rule.
Yes, unwritten rule. Of course, I think most times women may exaggerate the understanding of these things. You understand? Because even if it's a man, men still feel threatened.
By women?
No. Fellow men being in the business. So if a woman comes in, the threat even becomes very high.
I think
because they start to feel like
they don't feel threatened when a woman comes into the picture, because it feels like, how is she going to thrive? How is she going to overcome me? How is she going to win against me in this coming election? So it feels like
because they don't see them finish. They don't see women finish.
No. It's like an unwritten rule that women do not belong in this world. So no matter how hard you try, the attention is always going to go to the men.
That's the understanding from your own angle that some of these men have already seen the women as a weaker vessel.
Exactly.
What can they do? They will still ginger. They go chill. At the end of the day, we are their husbands. We are the men. We can always calm them down somehow.
Another angle to this is culture. What role does culture play in this particular? Whenever let's even come back to the household. We always have. I'm not saying we should not have the head of the family as a man. That's perfect. That's nice. That's good. I mean, even in the Bible, it says so. But even in culture, you have a situation where it makes people, by their upbringing, understand that you don't do certain things because you're a woman. You allow men do certain things. Culture plays a very big role in this particular situation, if you agree with me.
Of course, I do agree with you, and it's not helping. It's not helping at all. I think that's where the whole constitution needs to come in, because if we are talking about constitution and what have you, we have to still bring it back home. You understand? It's not just going to be in the National Assembly. It's not going to be in Nigeria political scene. We can bring it home to the family as well, because can take care of it from the home as well. If at the end of the day we are talking about Nigeria, if at the end of the day we are talking about Nigeria consists of families, siblings, and individual. You understand? If you're looking for a better Nigeria, let's come back to the family. If the family is okay, if the family is right, if cultures, religions, and what have you, they are done properly from the family, which is the root, then the Nigeria we're looking for may turn out well.
Okay, if you agree with me, there's a patriarchal situation in our culture, even in the Bible, down to the Bible, where you have the men of Israel, Israelites, it's never anything about women. It just makes you understand that women have to come after the men. And I think because of how the world has evolved so much, and women have shown that they are just not that weak vessels. They have so much to offer. Even even to the men too. There are certain positions that you just feel like this position is always left for women. When it comes to being a secretary and women leader, positions like that, those minimal positions, you just see women crowding themselves there, and it makes me understand that why do they always have to leave the big ones for the men, and then the little ones
that's like
for the women? Yeah, so it will be as if we are kicking you out of the system.
You still have it somewhere.
Manage this one. They give you breadcrumbs and expect you to be satisfied.
It's questionable, right? It's concerning. We coming from the Bible side, I would suggest that Bible is Bible. Christianity or religion is religion, and let's come to physical politics, because if you are to go to Bible, even Jesus had all his disciples men. Setting the example, that is questionable, but we are not on that, right? Let's come to the physical, the world, the physical world we're in now. When are we going to have a vice president that's a female? When are we going to have a president that's a woman? A governor that's also a woman? But this does not just start with the men in the political spaces. The women, where are they? How are they coming out to speak? How are they making Nigerians proud? When we have the likes of Better Do you know what happened to her? How she was kicked out because of one or two stuff that happened. People start to ask questions: are women really ready to be in place?
I think it's situations like this that makes women withdraw from being active in service. I mean, how would you feel if you see another woman treated this way, and this is something that you want to go for? What makes you think you're better than this person? What makes you think you'll be treated differently, except maybe you have backings of men as well? And it's really disturbing. And then back to the constitutional reform, we have women clamoring to have better positions in the political world, and I'm worried, because what makes you think that on the first one, are women really ready to hold these positions? Are we strong enough? Are we emotionally ready for this? Are we physically mature to face this situation? Because it takes a lot to
I would say the women are ready. Women have always been ready. Let's start with the family. Back to the family. Who holds the family together? Who puts the family together?
It always go to the man, but you and I know it's the
women. The men most times come from the financial angle and what have you. But if you're talking about the emotional, the psychological, the morals and what have you, most times the women do the background work. Most times they're at home to put the children together. Even when they're revolving against their dad, they try to speak to them. Your dad is going out to put food on our table, behave well, and all of that. They instill the morals that most of the daughters and sons have now. And the women have always been strong to carry the burden, to do it right. But politics seem to be like another platform for the women. Yeah, it's not like what they're too familiar with, like family affair.
And another angle to it, I feel like politics ways goes way deep into the system, that I feel sometimes it's something that women can't really fathom because of how complicated it could seem, the sacrifices that you need to make to get things right. You know, the good and the bad and the ugly, everything is all embedded in politics. And it just makes me wonder, are women that strong? Are we really ready for what we want? Are we sure that we can do this thing the way we want and do it properly? Because that's another angle to it. If you fail the first time, best believe you're not going to be given another opportunity.
As in, but it's scary because the way democracy, politics is done in this part of the world is different from the way it's done outside the world. You know, some civilized places, you know, you don't even have to do too much. You can stay online and just vote. You can just step out. The ballot boxes will
Speaking
not
of
be snatched.
voting,
Nothing
speaking of
will
voting,
happen,
I
and
really
everything
want
will
us
be
to have
okay.
the conversation on the coalition that is going
Yes,
on.
yes, we'll come to that, please.
Okay.
Let me just land on what I'm saying now. Now, you know the whole popular saying, grab it, run away with it, do the whole ginger and gra. Wow, really? Now, we are now talking about women. Which woman will get her strength to say, make sure you go there and snatch the ballot boxes?
To be very
ginger, all
honest, to
those
be very,
things.
very
It's-
honest, women can do it. Have you seen a woman go for what she wants?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not
she
talking
will
about
bring
relations.
down-
No, I'm not talking about relationships.
No, not relationships. I mean,
gra.
I'm trying
Scattering
to
the
achieve
boyfriend's house and putting.
No, far from that. Trying to achieve a goal, trying to set things straight, trying to achieve something. If a woman sets out to do something, best believe she will have to bring down the heavens to do it, and she will do that. Now over to the coalition, P2B has left, right? And it's something that, would I say we saw it coming? I can't say for sure, but I feel like the 2023 election that we had is just a rehearsal of what will happen in 2027. I don't know why. I have this gut feeling in me. And I know that the APC, our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not going to back down. I am really sure he's putting his arsenals together, getting things ready for 2027, even to the point that we have stepped away from facing what is going on in Nigeria to talking about 2027 general election. And it's just 2 years away. And we have started now we've started already to start clamoring on this particular subject matter. And it keeps me worried. What will be the fate of 2027 election? I feel 2023 is just a rehearsal of what will happen in 2027. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think 2023 is a rehearsal of what happened in 2027.
Oh.
I'm not of that opinion. See, this thing they do me like initial gra. in as much as many Nigerians were sad, you know, that the likes of Peter Obi, you know, the whole ginger online, social media, youths came out in their numbers and voted. And for the first time in forever, you see the youths saying 71, 72, 73. You go online, LP, and stuff like that. It was everywhere. You see youths in their numbers. In all of these things, the party that the Constitution recognized still became, you know, the current administration. So it's not about making noise. The Zambia yesterday, you know, they were all gingering the likes of Barbara Banda, you know, and at the end of the day, Nigeria still kicked them out. It's not about coming online to make a noise and make fans and to make all the entitlement. It's about the youths, the same women we are talking about. Will women even come out to vote? Unless their boyfriend or their girl or their husband drag them. Most of women, there was the whole culture thing, they will still sit at home. They will still sit at home. Most women will not come out. You understand? And then the youths, will they also come out? After they felt disappointed in the last election.
Exactly, I was coming to that.
So
after what happened in 2023 election, I am not a prophet of doom.
No.
But if I'm in the shoes of all Nigerians, or all Nigerians are in my shoe, trust me, you will not see me outside though. Why? Because you can't disappoint me the second time. I mean, see what happened. It was about 4 a.m. that INEC declared the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of 2027 election. 2023 election. Oh, I can't be prophesying already. And already We had a situation where people woke up and felt betrayed. Like, how can I go to bed hoping that by morning we'll continue from where we stopped, only to wake up to a new president?
And it would have been an issue. The president, in quote, would have been an issue. The issue is the process. INEC.
The process.
Why would some sites be missing out?
The problem is not Nigerians coming out to vote. The problem is not the political party. The problem is not the candidates. The problem is INEC. INEC.
If
because
everything,
they are not really, I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem really independent.
Or transparent.
Right? Or transparent to start with. So if you're even going to go through all the stress, I mean, we saw cases where people were injured, people fought, and people were attacked because they were trying to
a lady
vote.
was even bleeding.
Yeah,
she put on her bandage and still went back to vote.
So when you see pictures like that displayed, when you see situations like that, and it's heartbreaking to know that you almost lost your life for this cause and you didn't even achieve the essence of coming out for it.
And most of them counted their votes before their eyes, only for them to go online and see something else. You saw something else. Most of them, they were there, ballot boxes were snatched from them after voting in your very eye.
Some of them, it was not just snatched from them. They would stand and tell you, I instruct you who to vote for, and if you're not voting for that particular party, you should leave.
And the annoying part of it is that they kept saying that they've sent military personnel to each of these sites, ballot boxes, polling units rather, to go supervise and inspect and secure from whatever. But somehow, when these things will happen, these military men, these security guys will never be around. Even if they're around.
Can we talk about the areas that did not even get their ballot papers to start with?
And the people were there stranded to vote, but there was no one there.
Was nobody
so
there.
the thing now actually is that the anger from many Nigerians, many youths, were not just about the candidates. It was about the process, the institution that they trusted. You see the ginger that came from the INEC president, the INEC chairman, when he said that the machine was in good shape. This time around, everything will be counted, everything will be done. They invested billions into these things, and Nigerians were happy that for once, the election process will go seamless, no issue, no hiccup. But at the end of the day, it's either IRF was not working for this other center, or one thing or the other was happening,
and it's really disappointing.
And it just scattered everything.
It's really disappointing.
Save Nature TV, news in your pocket.